All right, let's dive into one of the most famous and maybe one of the most misunderstood bodies of water on the entire planet, the Red Sea. We're going to start with a pretty simple question about its name, but believe me, that one little question is going to spiral out into this huge story about life, history, and the very ground breaking apart beneath our feet. So here it is, the question everybody asks, right? Is the Red Sea, actually red? Because every picture you've ever seen shows this stunning, crystal clear blue water. So what's the deal? Well, the answer is kinda. It's not red all the time, but when it is, it's not because of the water itself. It's because of something living in the water. I want you to meet the real culprit, Trichodesmesium erythraeum. Now, that's a mouthful, but it's basically a type of tiny cyanobacteria. Think of it as a blue-green algae. Most of the time, it's just minding its own business, but every so often, conditions are just right and its population just explodes. It creates what's called a bloom. And when these absolutely massive blooms die off all at once, they stain huge patches of the ocean surface this deep reddish-brown color. You can just imagine ancient sailors seeing this from miles away and thinking, whoa, that's a Red Sea. And the name just stuck. But honestly, the story behind the color, as cool as it is just scratching the surface. The truly mind-blowing story of the Red Sea has nothing to do with algae and everything to do with the titanic forces that build our world. We're about to go from the microscopic all the way to the tectonic. Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't just a sea, it's a live-action geological event. This body of water only exists because a continent is, right now, in the process of tearing itself in two. It's kind of incredible. We are literally watching an ocean being born. It's just happening on a timescale that's almost impossible for our brains to wrap around. So how does this even happen? How do you make an ocean? Well, it all starts when two giant tectonic plates, in this case the African plate and the Arabian plate, start drifting apart. As they pull away from each other, the crust in the middle gets stretched super thin, kind of like taffy, and it sinks down, creating this massive rift valley. And once that valley floor drops below sea level, well, water from the Indian Ocean comes rushing in to fill the gap. And just like that, you have the birth of a brand new sea. And that whole process, it's still going on. Every single year, the Red Sea gets wider by about 2 centimeters. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much. It's roughly the same speed your fingernails grow. But you let that happen over millions and millions of years, and this little sea is going to become a vast ocean, completely separating Africa from Asia. Okay, so you've got this constant geological drama happening. This actually creates a really unique environment, The water here is way hotter and saltier than in most other places. So that begs the question, what kind of life can handle that? What can not just survive, but actually thrive in these kinds of extreme conditions? Well, it turns out that this special environment has turned the Red Sea into two things at once: an incredible hotspot for unique biodiversity and a super important highway for human history. The very same forces tearing the land apart have somehow managed to create a perfect cradle for both life and civilization. I mean, just look at these numbers. The Red Sea is an absolute explosion of life. It has over 2,000 kilometers of coral reef lining its coasts, and some of these reef systems are thousands of years old. They're home to more than 1,200 species of fish. But here's the really wild part. About 10% of all that fish life is endemic. That means you can't find it anywhere else on Earth. They evolved specifically for this one-of-a-kind place. And as long as humans have been building boats, they've been using this sea as a major corridor. We are talking about millennia of history. You had Egyptian pharaohs, like the incredible Queen Hatshepsut, sending expeditions down its waters. The entire Roman Empire depended on it for its rich trade with India. And of course, in more recent history, the British Empire saw this sea as an absolutely crucial lifeline to its colonies in the East. And that importance? It hasn't gone away. Not one bit. If anything, it's just gotten more intense. Today, the Red Sea is one of the most strategically critical waterways on the entire globe. It's a major artery for the world's economy. Just think about the geopolitics for a second. It's incredibly complicated. Look at who borders this one narrow sea. On the African side, you've got Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, Djibouti. And on the Arabian side, you have Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Every single one of them has a massive stake in what happens in these waters. And here's why it matters to absolutely everyone, no matter where you live. The Red Sea is what we call a critical choke point. Think about it. An enormous percentage of global shipping, especially all that oil and gas, has to squeeze through this narrow channel. every single day. So any disruption here, any instability, sends shockwaves through the entire global economy. We've seen it happen. So we've seen this sea as a place for microscopic life, as the birthplace of an ocean, a cradle for unique animals, and a stage for literally thousands of years of human history. So where does it go from here? What's the final act in this incredible planetary drama? And that's the most amazing part. The story isn't over. It's still being written. Those same geological forces are at work right now, slowly, unstoppably prying this sea wider and wider. It's just this powerful reminder that our world isn't some static, finished thing. It's a living, breathing, constantly changing system. And the Red Sea? Well, it's one of the best places on Earth to see that system in action. A future ocean that has shaped our past, totally defines our present, and is still building the future of our planet.